Hi Taurus, welcome to the full moon in Sagittarius reading for May 23rd, 2024. Full moons close out cycles, and you may be closing out the cycle of loss, or in any case, this is the direction that the reading is going. There can be, it's number two, so that's duality, maybe partnerships of all kinds. Um, uh, the card gives sort of the indication that something is drifting away. Um, this card also asks you to do it in a calm manner, self-loving, with clarity. If you are angry or sad about it, this card asks you to possibly journal um, to help you to release any negative energy around the situation, to be around supportive people at this time, and maybe support yourself by doing some activities that you enjoy. But this is the direction the reading is going in. Sagittarius moon is a very expansive energy. Um, they usually are the type of people who like to be in group situations. So perhaps there's a group that you are releasing, letting go of, or moving on from. But there is a feeling of loss. Maybe, and it can be quite minor. It doesn't have to be anything huge. Like I said, it can be just something that you enjoyed doing once and now you can't do it anymore. It doesn't have to be a big major thing. And it is an event happening, so it is a situation happening, but it can be events that lead to loss, or it can just be an event. It's something that's happening. So, okay. Anyway, this first column is where you find yourself at the time of the full moon, or something that you're consciously closing out in your life, in your situation. So you do have the 10 there, and 10s are the end of a cycle while simultaneously beginning something new. And then you have number 2, which is an early step in that stage. The second column is what you feel, what you're doing, what you're thinking, how you feel about the situation. It is you and your reactions and that sort of thing to it. And the last column is probable outcome. Probable because some things we are able to change, and some things we are meant to experience, but again, always for our growth. May not always seem like it at the time, but in hindsight, we do, if we are wise, try to understand the lesson in the situation. Okay, now let's get started. So we are dealing with, let me put this down so we can see that middle card a little bit better. 10 of Swords is a difficult card. It is the end of a difficult mental situation, and we are then simultaneously beginning something new. We are indeed looking for peace after a very tough time. This can also be like actual physical pain. So perhaps you're dealing with a backache. Maybe because of some physical pain you have to let go of something, which could be, like I said, a recreational activity, something that we once enjoyed doing as a scenario. But sometimes this can be actual physical pain. It is certainly mental pain. But your perspective is really important with this card, because we are searching for peace. Is this the dawn of a new day, or is it the end of a very difficult day? And so, like I said, 10 is the end of a cycle. A new one begins simultaneously. And so it can be both. It can be both. And I say that also because we're doing a bit of a juggle here with this 2 of Pentacles. Now, it can be financial that we're dealing with, because we have a Knight of Pentacles here, so there's some financial, but it can also be physical. Things that we're juggling. So even if it is financial, let's say this is multitasking, but it can also be like moving money from one account to another, or that kind of thing, right? Just trying to juggle some finances, but also multitasking, so it can also be juggling of other things and of a situation while simultaneously beginning a new one, right? And that's what I mean. Maybe you have to leave a position that you really loved in order to start something new somewhere else, and you have to kind of like move as you're starting this new scenario. Move house, move offices, move whatever. That kind of energy. And that's just a general example. But the Two of Pentacles asks you to do it with a lighter heart, because juggling is a fun activity. So it does ask you often to do it with a lighter heart. That background really has some wavy emotions behind it. Now this can have something to do with the Page of Wands, which is my Sagittarius card. This person is quite fiery and passionate in their movement forward in their life. But their motto is also, even when I'm wrong, I'm right. So sometimes they can cause disruption. That they're also fantastic band members. They like to be a member. They like to be in group situations. It's just that their philosophy is very strong, and they believe it wholeheartedly. It is the philosophical sign. And so, for them, their belief is so strong that they often think others should believe the same thing. And that can cause a little bit of disruption, I'll put it that way. Okay, so fiery personality, right? This Page of Wands, this younger individual. And even if they're older, they may behave quite young, with the understanding that their way, or the highway, is kind of a little bit their philosophy. And this possibly can cause you some loss. I do see that you're a bit on the defensive with that Nine of Wands. I will get to that in a minute. But we have the Knight of Wands, or Knight of Pentacles first. The Knight of Pentacles is the card of a timing for me. It's about really good timing. It can be procrastinating to some people, but it is about timing. This Knight knows when to plow. He knows when to seed, right? He knows when it's the perfect time to water. He knows when to harvest. Timing is really important. But it is also that you have something very firm to offer. Because it is in the place of how you're behaving. And so you have something very firm to offer. Timing may be of the essence here. This is the only Knight that doesn't move. There's no movement with the Knight. And that's why this can be the procrastination card. But it's also a good, firm offer. However, you have this Nine of Wands, which kind of gives you this sort of feeling of biding your time. And again, that's why I said timing is really important here. This is the card of biding your time. Now, you've been through the ringer, right? This is the walking wounded card. We've been hurt. We've been, like I said, we've been through the ringer. These are all our experiences here. And so we are careful not to make the same mistakes. And this is also associated with Sagittarius. And sometimes there can be a little paranoia involved with this. It may or may not be true, but in any case, we're not going to make the same mistakes again. And so there can be this feeling of looking over your shoulder. Who's kind of out to get me, or what can possibly go wrong, and we're kind of biding our time to make sure that we're taking the right steps and that we're not making the mistakes that we did in the past with the Nine of Wands. So let me get another card for that, a clarification. So I do see you're quite cautious in moving forward with this new offer that you have to give. Yeah, you have Five of Wands here. So this is a very recreational card, but it can be like lively debates. And certainly the Page of Wands can either instigate it or be a part of it. But it is, like I said, a group scenario, right? Everybody's trying to build this pentacle, right? This pentacle, but everybody has their own idea of how to get there. They're trying to build something together. And still, everybody has their own idea of how they should do it. And that can cause a little, like I said, disruption. it can be lively debates, or it can be something a little more serious. And like I said, you're kind of a little bit cautious. Again, biding your time within this scenario, with this situation. The outcome or probable outcome is the Queen of Swords and the Five of Cups. So this is somebody who, if it isn't you, it can be somebody who has very pointy features, perhaps a pointy chin or high cheekbones, well-defined cheekbones, sharp eyes. They have a critical mind, but they can also have a critical mouth, right? The way they speak, the way they bring things over. They're not afraid to cause a bit of dust on the ground. As you can see the clouds around her, but her mind is clear, right? She knows what she wants, and she's just going to. So in another deck, I have the Queen of Swords has a man's severed head in her hands, and so she's made the cut, right? It's a very critical action. But they have a critical mind, and sometimes that's necessary. So it's not always a negative thing, but it is how you breathe things over. And these people can have a bit of a sharp tongue, and can be difficult at times. However, they are also great friends and will defend you tooth and nail. So that is the good part about them. If anybody tries anything, they're the first person there to be at your side and to defend you. And it seems to me like you've been through quite a bit here. Now this is what connects me to loss a little bit. The Five of Cups is the grieving card. And we are looking at what has been lost here. And grieving is a part of the process, right, of healing. And so it's quite a necessary thing to go through. However, this card says that if you stay in the situation too long, it can become depression. And this is something perhaps that you would rather avoid. And so take the time to grieve. It's understandable. But remember to do it gently, like this card says, and to journal, to write about it, to do it gently, because the card does ask you to pivot and see what is still good in your situation. And what is still good is finding some balance. There are people around to help you. There are situations that can help bring balance. Perhaps you're the one who's offering that balance here to somebody who's lost something. Certainly you've had this kind of experience yourself, because there is this kind of walking wounded card already, and it is biding your time. But this is the card of sharing is caring. But I think it's more than that. It's really a very altruistic card, the haves and the have-nots, and this is somebody who's willing to give, to help the situation, or to help the people, and help to bring balance. And 5 is a very unstable number, right? This 5 of Wands creates instability. So somebody around you or you within this group can create some instability. But it's very possible that a critical mind, right? For some people, a critical mind, meaning like not in a negative way in this case, right? It's just being sharp and seeing things for what they are, not covering something up with rose-colored glasses. It's just being very logic-minded can help to bring the situation back into balance. Well, you do have 2 5s here, so you have 2 5s, and that can, like I said, create some imbalance. What does Spirit want you to know? You have laughter. Laughter attracts unicorns, it says, but it attracts more laughter. It attracts lightheartedness, and that's actually what this card is saying. Replace this loss gently with something that brings you back into balance. If you're experiencing, for example, if you're experiencing depression, um, make sure you surround yourself with people who are a little more lighthearted, or you can watch a good comedy, or be a little more playful in your situation. That's kind of what the laughter card means. It's a way to counterbalance or counteract the difficulty that you could be dealing with here. Okay? All right. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for listening. Like I said, Sagittarius is a very philosophical card, so your philosophy in life and the higher mind can very much help you, or maybe that's what you have to offer the situation. Other people who are feeling this way, Taurus. Okay? All right. Take good care. Talk to you in 2 weeks with a new moon reading. And until then, be well. Bye for now.